In this episode of the Protocols of Equal, we're going to take a closer look at the clause of root cause. The root cause is the initial reason that led to the breaking of the rule of sow and reap. A necessary clause of accurate assessment and enforcement. The root cause is a mandatory clause required to accurately diagnose any occurrence, thus significantly improving the decision-making process. How does it affect people? Those fortunate to be part of a process where the root cause is applied can have confidence in accurate assessment and enforcement. Those unfortunate to be part of a process where the root cause is not applied have significant risk of error-prone assessment and enforcement. This could be severely unequal and life-threatening. Sometimes people are forced to accept extremely unsettling erroneous decisions. Let's find out why. This is the Protocols of Equal, an advanced technical framework with a scientific method to diagnose, adjudicate, assert, quantify, or teach equality. The Protocols of Equal can solve 90+% of societal inequalities. It is the most advanced equality framework on Earth. It is a core contributor in creating the equal side of society. The Express Solution. Honor the rule of sow and reap. Instill the rule of sow and reap in the hearts and actions of the people. Make sure it oversees all money, arms, and social networks. The Articulated Solution. Intelligently analyze each principle and clause with real-life examples. The Protocols of Equal is the engine that will drive society to an all-equal future. Root cause. Definition. The accurate assessment of the initial reason that led to the breaking of the rule of sow and reap. Explanation. Every root has a seed. In addition, there are often fertilizing actions. The root cause must be accounted for before adjudication and enforcement, especially when arms are involved. It's one of the moral checkpoints of arriving at the point of equilibrium. This is a mandatory part of a process required to equate any situation. Problems. Errors and inequality become commonplace. Without asserting the root cause, there is a high probability of erroneous assessment and enforcement. Causes. Inaccurate assessment of equality, thus skewing what is right from wrong. Improper equality-based practices. This is commonplace for arms enforcement. Effects. Error inheritance. Error apathy, error proliferation, arms hypocrisy, and perpetual inequality at arms. There are a lot of considerable side effects, much of which spread in uncontrollable, and sometimes undetectable ways. Both formal and informal arms have significant issues with arms accuracy due to the absence of the root cause clause. Solutions. Always apply the root cause clause before any enforcement, especially if the use of arms is involved. Reference. Error inheritance. Error apathy, error proliferation, arms hypocrisy, and perpetual inequality. Individual example. Situation. Two young adults, a male and female, have a strong liking for each other and perhaps even love each other. However, they have very upsetting arguments about issues, particularly the issues of trust. Both of them have agreed to be exclusive to each other. However, one of them, the male, have relapsed on this agreement twice already within a half a year. This did not settle well with his partner. She insisted they find an immediate solution, as it's heartbreaking for her to know despite the potential they have. She has reasonably assessed that if she is cheated on this early when they are at a high, there is an increased chance of the cheating to take place later in the relationship when they are at their low points. Problems. Infidelity. Not keeping to an intimate agreement. Causes. At a root level, the pair have a different resolve on the matter of fidelity. Social vices do impact people and their personal choices. As mentioned before, the relay between individual choices and collective choices are often infiltrated by external parties, such as almshouses or financial houses. Sex is a subversive social vice that is controllable by other social vices. It's often unpredictable as it has a broad spectrum of experiences and control mechanisms. For some, sex is a subject only considered with love. For others, it only requires a humble financial gesture. In this case, the female who has been cheated on twice is well in control of her sexual urges and has made the decision to only pursue heartfelt sexual interactions. While the male, who has cheated twice in a half a year, deep down believes in having some additional sexual interactions on the side to his relationship. He doesn't necessarily mean all the times, it's just that he expects to every now and then have an interaction outside his relationship. If that's his philosophy, to each their own, however it is contrary to the philosophy of the female that he is courting, and the exclusive relationship they have agreed to. Effects. In this case, the female in the relationship experiences heartbreak. There are frequent arguments in their somewhat distrustful relationship. Solutions. Apply the root cause clause to isolate the issues being argued about. Apply the rule of sow and reap to clearly specify the reason for getting into a relationship, and further into sexual interactions. Both individuals in the relationship should be honest and make root agreements that they can adhere to. Time is valuable, especially when the potential of love is involved. Group example. Situation. A minority race, black, has a much higher rate of incarceration than the majority race, white. It's important to note that the majority race outnumbers the minority race 5-1. The rate of incarceration has been like this for several decades, and everyone has taken notice of it, yet no viable long-term solutions have been applied. Over the years, the minority race has had many voices attempt to convey the grievance of the community about the rates of incarceration. There is an overwhelming consensus that a certain amount of inequalities are transpiring, and that a solution should be arrived at. Problems. A high likelihood of racial inequalities transpiring in an environment built to defend equality. In this case, the formal system. Causes. Let's apply the root cause. Based on the records of the authorities, the majority of incarcerations are either directly or indirectly related to money. However, we must look deeper to arrive at the root cause. In this case, the minority race is black. The net worth of the average black household is approximately 5 to 10 times lesser than the average white household. There are several factors for this. But let's start at the root. In Western society, black people were enslaved for approximately 250 years, up until 1865. Slavery is an institution that defiantly breaks the rule of sow and reap, by forcing someone to work for nothing in return, at the expense of their own soul. Slavery is the epitome of inequality. Slavery is evil. After the abolition of slavery in 1865, black people fought for another 100 years to be integrated into mainstream society. Throughout the entire fight, black people were killed, persecuted, or severely prevented from progressing as a collective race in society. At no point after slavery were black people as a collective race given reparations, or the opportunity to equally sow and reap at a comparable level as the majority white race. Currently, in North America, the home ownership rate of black people is less than 50% compared to the almost 80% of the majority white race. This exemplifies how important the right of sow and reap is, and how detrimental its absence is. Of course, there have been a few percent of the black populace that have far surpassed the living standards of the average white person. However, without the right of sow and reap, collectively, black people have financially imploded. Scarcity of resources are a motivating factor in the recurrence of violence. Psychological stresses of continuous generational inequalities could be considered an additional cause to the frequency of money-related incarcerations. It could be reasonably asserted the basic human right of sow and reap is what has been missing from black society after the abolition of slavery. It could account for the difference as to why black levels of income, education, and overall equal opportunities are not comparable to the majority white race. Effects. The absence of right of sow and reap causes increased rates of violence, incarcerations, and unemployment for Black people. Conversely, this leads to decreased income, education, health, and overall living standards for Black people. Solutions. Instill the right of sow and reap in all aspects of society, especially in Black culture. The right of sow and reap should be elevated in Black society whereby all its members fully understand its significance. Effective programs that bridge the gaps of equality between Black society and mainstream society should be applied. In addition, Black necessities in society should be operated as equality essential environments and be given EEE status. If reparations aren't provided, the midway principle of alleviation should be considered. Alleviation would strive to significantly reduce inequalities with strategic funding of Black infrastructure and necessities. This could include yet not be limited to business grants and lenient mortgages for home ownership. There are solutions to reverse the lingering effects of slavery. However, it does require efficient, large investment into Black infrastructure. This way, several hundred years of living without the right of sow and reap could be reversed within a lifetime. Slavery broke the universal rule of sow and reap. The word of equal must be amended.